We're gonna watch a little video clip and then I'm gonna give you some of my thoughts.
Week 2 on this GLP1 journey, and I'm starting to figure out I'm not tracking anymore. The only thing that I'm tracking is my protein. I'm starting to realize if I'm tracking something, I'm not gonna do that the rest of my life. Like, I'm just not. The only thing I'm worried about is protein. And y'all may be thinking, Ashley, why? I'm following my hunger cues. This medicine isn't making me crave sugar. I'm craving good things like fruits and vegetables, and when I grab something sweet, it's something that's not 400 calories in one sitting.
Hey everybody, it's Allie. I'm on a fantabulous weight loss quest, and hopefully you'll subscribe, come along for the ride, because I put out new videos every day. So, first and foremost, no hate to this creator. They are very early on in their GLP-1 journey, and they're still learning the ropes. I do want to offer some unsolicited advice here, and of course, now that I've started talking, the dogs are going to start barking. Okay, got the dog settled down. I have no idea where I left off. So let's start from the beginning. This is a very common mistake that I see amongst people who are just starting out on a GLP-1 in their first 3 months. And if I could make a recommendation based off of my experience, it's just my advice, you can take it or leave it. I recommend that people who are just starting out on a GLP-1, that they continue tracking for at least the first 3 months. Why is that? You are going to experience a myriad of things when it comes to this journey. A lot of those feelings are going to be overwhelming, like the feelings that this person described of, having hope and seeing that light at the end of the tunnel that, oh my goodness, I'm actually going to be able to heal my relationship with food. That takes time. That is a process. And I know that many people just throw around that phrase, but as somebody who was a chronic overeater and who really struggled on like eating disorder level of eating, I can tell you that healing your relationship with food does not happen overnight. It does not happen in 2 weeks. It does not happen in a month. Now, you can experience these feelings of hopefulness, excitement, relief, right? Because the food noise is gone and you're having the appetite suppression and the satiety, and you're feeling full for the first time potentially in your whole life, which is what happened to me. And it's very easy to become comfortable in those feelings and say, I'm going to eat intuitively. I'm going to, I'm going to listen to my hunger cues, right? Insert phrases here. But what you need to understand is how the medication affects you. And you are not going to have a full grasp on that until you've been on it for at least 3 months. Remember, there are still anywhere from 30 to 40% of people that quit their GLP-1 journey in the first 3 months. And I think that it's great to feel that excitement and that hope and to think, oh my goodness, I can actually function like a normal human being. All of those feelings are very good and very valid, and you should hold them close. In the first few months, don't let it go to your head. You are going to have weeks where you don't have appetite suppression. You are going to have weeks where the food noise comes back. You are going to have weeks where you go, did I inject myself with water? What is happening? You are going to experience an emotional roller coaster when it comes to watching the weight fall off, hitting a stall, watching the weight fall off. You see what I'm saying? And in the beginning of your health journey, I cannot stress this enough. If you utilize tools like tracking, you will always be able to fall back on those tools. And this is one of the things that I shout from the rooftops, because a lot of creators come out and say, oh, tracking, it leads to disordered thought processes and blah, blah, blah. That's only if you let it. Now, if you are coming from a place where tracking was not healthy for you mentally, I completely understand. In which case, I think you should meet with a dietitian, have them create a meal plan for you where your calorie deficit is worked in, and then you go from there. So there is an alternative if you don't want to do tracking. But I cannot stress this enough. If you think that you are just going to rely on appetite suppression to get you through your weight loss journey, then if you hit any kind of hiccup, bump in the road, your insurance isn't going to cover it anymore, you lose your provider, compound goes away, your doctor won't prescribe it anymore, insurance is making you jump through all sorts of hoops, you have to be pulled off of it cold turkey, anything that can come up. There's a shortage, anything that can come up. When you hit that bump in the road, it is going to be crippling for you, because you will not have taken the time in the beginning of your health journey to learn everything that you needed to learn and to learn how to utilize the tools. Because if you skip over that part and you're like, oh, I see it all the time in the groups, I'm going to do intuitive eating, I'm going to eat everything in moderation, I'm going to be fine. And then the moment they hit a dose that doesn't work for them, they're panicking, they're posting in the groups, I'm not losing weight, I'm gaining weight, what's happening, what's going wrong? And the first thing that anybody with any experience is going to say to you is, are you tracking what you're eating? Because if you rely on the appetite suppression and the medication, what happens when you don't have that? What happens when you hit a dose that's not your ideal dose, right? For me, that dose was 7.5. 7.5 was a hot mess roller coaster of absolute emotional garbage for me, because I didn't have everything that I had at previous doses, which is appetite suppression, right? Reduced food noise, satiety, right? I really had to work at it, but I had the tools. So when I reached a point where I was like, okay, what's happening? Am I going to stall out on 7.5? I was able to make sure that I was tracking my food, make sure that I was utilizing, right, the calorie deficit, and I could say without a doubt that I was doing everything right. So when things go wrong and you're tracking, it provides you that comfort of knowing, okay, I just need to keep doing what I'm doing and I'm going to be okay. In conclusion, no, you don't have to track for the rest of your life. I hear people say this all the time. They're like, I'm not going to do this for the rest of my life. It's still a valuable tool. No one's saying you have to do it for the rest of your life. And even if you only pull it out of your tool arsenal when you need it, you are going to be happy that you learned how to calculate your calorie deficit. You learned how to, meal prep, meal plan, meal portion, do all the things, all of the important things that you learn. I mean, the list goes on and on and on in your first few months. And you're also going to have that foundation of understanding how the medication is going to affect you. There were some side effects that didn't even affect me until I got to higher doses. So if you don't have that solid foundation, then you may be doing yourself a disservice. So please remember that calorie tracking is not always the enemy. While it may not be fun, it is a useful tool. And for those of us who come from a past of, really having challenges centered around what we've been eating, how much we've been eating, it can really be a helpful tool to get you going in the right direction. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe. I'd love to have you along for the ride. Make sure you go check out my other videos where I have helpful tips and tricks to help you on your health journey. If you're looking for a positive-only support group, I've got you covered. Link is in the description box below. And as always, be kind, rewind.